Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are getting right back underway after a bit of technical difficulties, but we are here and we are ready. So we're live, and actually, we're in the gear up phase right now on Starlight Kingfisher. Billboard, what are you seeing here?
Yeah, we're hopping right back in, and we're looking at a nice factory here. So this one is interesting because once again we have a red door silos, as well as a really impactful green actually that's really holdable too for defense. We've actually seen Fierce on this map before, and being able to hold it really well. Fierce has actually been better about holding greens on factory than the last game, which was a little bit surprising, but we do see Fierce on the attack first this time, and they're going to go for that silo push. That silo is very strong. It's probably the best thing to do here, just because it gets you access to everything so quickly. But the problem with it too is just there's so many angles to it, which is why they probably want to split this green and hope to get that added pressure, so they can end up pushing from the north and compress everything down, because this office is very important for the attack to want to take as well. Ooh.
Ooh, Barrel takes a ton of damage. He's opened up that storage door, at least he's trying to. Gets a smoke in there, maybe trying to get some attention put his way, and it's working. He's got 3 members focused that direction. But somehow, Smitten Death know they're going the other way, and they're going to rotate back. Josh going super aggressive here on storage. Doesn't see anybody, and they're going to relay that knowledge as people are going to kind of rotate toward these silos and servers defenses. Where the team is located, the charge is out in silos. Marbles and Dyer in quick ahead of the Molly. Smitten Roadrunner pick off 2. Marbles one for the other way. Smith gets stars, though, and now it's just a Daxi and Marbles trying to save this attack here. Deep flash there, not really able to push on it though. Adaxi going to go down to Smith as well, and Roadrunner and Smith do all the work. 1-0 Nem.
Yeah, this silos is good, but the problem is it's not good alone. We saw Fierce trying to do a slow play and have 4 players just full go on the silos, while Farrell sending himself alone to green with a shotgun and trying to prove distraction, but it wasn't enough. Didn't pull the rotate enough, and more importantly, they kept that office control, which is what gives a lot of angles to have to fight against on that silo. And not only that, but Nemesis was ready for it. We saw 2 barbs set up for that silo at different points to make it really pretty much impossible for Fierce to push.
Yeah, just really nice angles
Ooh.
held there, and Fierce not able
What
to
is
flash like
this?
they want to. Oh, what?
Well,
Vice Sphere is a unique map.
very
It
very
is just
interesting
like that,
map.
right? I'm
Yeah.
not wrong there.
So we've seen the return of breezeways recently at some kill houses, and we've seen some very interesting ones, and this is no doubt one of them. As not we have not one but 2 green entrances. Um, which is something that we don't generally see. And not only that, but this green entrance happens to go right to site. And so, and the other cross, so what we've seen too with some of these latest breezeways is to be able to have multiple crosses from being able to play from the other side. But because of how small this brick house is, it could be super clearable. But the interesting parts about it are, yeah, we do have quite a bit of windows, and that's what Nemesis is trying to craft up, and knowing that they have to pretty much play aggressive to this, because it's not going to be possible to hold just for the bomb or just for a single barbed wire in a site. And so it looks like they're setting up to have this using this window from club, as well as maybe using some of the windows from brick houses, and maybe even just straight up peeking the breezeway, which are the things you're gonna kind of have to do with a map like this. You're just gonna have to get aggressive, and that's what I'm assuming we're gonna see from Nemesis. And pretty much only one barb, that all they're expecting is that one. That's really all they need. And yeah, the whole team stacking on that side, knowing that Fierce probably doesn't want to push the other side, but it could work out in Fierce's favor if they decide to go to the reception green instead. Just based on the stack, look at all these defenders piling up a firing squad.
They're trying to see what they can get, but it looks like Fierce are doing exactly that, and they're going to opt for reception. With Farrell maybe lacking a little bit on this breezeway. Slow playing here. Daxton Stars kind of door banging there as Dia Marbles are making their way through Club and into Office. First, Molly's going to come out from Smith there into Club. He's going to hold this little corner on this door here as Death's going to take these long wall bangs. Smoke comes out right on to Smith as they've rotated all the way back to the breezeway. Mace able to get a pick. Adaxi's pushing him. Flashes and able to finish him off, but he's got refragged. Another one goes down into reception. That is Dia. And all of a sudden, only 2 members left for the attack.
We saw the defense try, or sorry, we saw Fierce try to pull the rotate there and they were able to. They pulled a lot of the Nemesis out and trying to come in from the bottom side of Breezeway instead, but it was shut down, and we come down to this 4v1, nothing but marbles left, and it's looking like he's just gonna save this. So he's got the nade in hand, and that's really all he needs. But outside of that, yeah, I mean, perfectly played from Nemesis. It looked a little bit scary. Fierce was able to get that reception control, but they weren't really able to capitalize off it. Not really being able to push in this club, or not really. Just I don't think they really exactly knew what they wanted to do. They only really went into this reception, I guess, to try to draw the rotate back in, and so we saw this rotate back around to the breezeway, which did happen, but like all those bodies fell. We saw Feral die close by this club, Stars on the corner, and then Adaxi dying all the way at the end of Brick House on top of Mace. So while they were able to get that one trade, it just wasn't enough.
What a unique map.
Yeah, that's one word for it.
I was gonna be polite. Definitely. Wow. But the defense wins it, and it's gonna be 2-0.
Nemesis looking in a better spot. The defense going well for them. As that's been the name of the game right now, is defenses have been more consistently better for both teams, but Nemesis is starting to wake up a bit more. We've seen I mean, their defenses are going pretty much perfectly, and Fierce's attacks we actually saw some good attacks from them. So I think at this point they're just not ready for some of these maps. Like, yeah, I mean, that map, I'm pretty sure, I wouldn't doubt that neither of those teams have probably seen it. It's probably one of the new ones, as we did recently have some new maps drop in. So gotta put these teams on their feet and put these plans up to the fly and try to have them come up with these things. And it looks like, and when that happens, it's hard for attack to kind of figure out what they want to do, or at least figure out what's good. So defense generally wins on those types of situations.
And that is the essence of what due process has always been intended to be. It's been the last really probably month or two that we've seen not a ton of rotation in the maps. So it's kind of refreshing to see that the game has been unbalanced for the attackers, but that's because they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to coordinate. So I think it's refreshing. I'm happy to see it.
Oh yeah, no, it's good to see, because when the attack knows what they're doing, it's super easy to get very precise flashbangs here to clear all this. So it's good to see some mix-ups and basically making IGLing and making those calls, those plays very important. That planning very important from the attack. Like and we just haven't really, or we don't necessarily see it all the time because of some of these maps that we see over and over again. So teams just kind of start to get used to knowing what's good and what's bad after playing with it for a while. But unfortunately, we do have to move back to that. This is a map we've seen for a while. An interesting bomb in terms of that it's in the base, and this castle is pretty important to holding it. So that's what Nemesis is going to do. They're going to stack some barbed wires toward the observation side, trying to hold this down, while Fierce wants to take control of this obs because it gives you pretty quick access to that base and gets you that control. But the other side of things, we see Fierce also wants to go for that double charge and take this pit, as this pit helps pinch out this castle pretty much perfectly, even though the button is way over here and power is on the side of the defenders, so they can stop this door from getting opened. We'll see if Nemesis sees that coming.
We'll see as the charge on Pit does come out first. 2 nades out here for Fierce on the attack. Adaxi has 1, Marbles the other. Clacking like crazy. sounds like Roadrunner is, but they're already blown pit, so he is not in the right spot if he's trying to succeed there. And Adaxi rotated over to get the clack ready for observation as he gets that to go. Farrell in on green as well, pushed up on B just a little bit. Josh using this obs to kind of get this one-way mop angle on him. But Dia kind of in behind a little bit. Fierce playing this super slow, a minute 20 left on the clock.
Yeah, Josh is trying to take this challenge, but loses the fight. Stars wins it. Going down, and the round dwindles down to a minute left, but attack has still not done much. But they do get that opening pick they needed. This barb is all ready for the attackers as the flashes come out, the nades come through. Roadrunner doing some damage, but Adaxi getting a kill down in the castle, but he dies for it too. Roadrunner, Mace being able to pick up some kills. Action happening down in pit. Farrell taking a 1v1. Mace winning it. Comes down to the 2v3. Lots of damage done on the defense. Stars, Diagri pushing through the castle. Able to get one. Trading Stars and Mace in a 1v1. 38 seconds. Still has to be defused. Well, there's been no progress on it. Mace, all he has to do is hide and stall time. He closes the door. And Stars goes for the kick, but Mace is sitting there ready, but Stars wins the fight! Does he have the time? I believe he does if he can make the route, but Stars has got to run. He's got to get his little feet up. It goes the wrong way. This could be close, especially that barb. And he's gonna
jump, and he gets there.
He gets it. Wow. What a round.
Wow, Fierce in control. Looked like they were out of it. A minute left and they weren't even inside. But they end up succeeding there, pushing in, executing super fast, and able to get the kills.
And honestly, I thought Mace had that round trying to play against that kick, but I guess that I don't know if I wasn't looking. I don't know if he missed some shots or what it was, but Stars won the fight, and that's the fight that he needed. Very, very, very close round. It was Fierce was playing it really slow, which is something we've seen them do quite a bit. Like to kind of do these these charges they blow late or do things like that, and that tends to work for them here and there, and that's when it worked. It worked perfectly. Nemesis wasn't ready for it. We saw the slow play from that that pit as they opened that first, but then ended up rotating back around and opening up the obs and having a great pinch take right there.
A really strong pinch, but now Nemesis on the attack here, starting off on Starlight Fisher. And this is going to be a very important map for Fierce here.
Yeah, let's see if Nemesis can turn this around. Their attacks have not been very good based on that last map, and that's kind of what led to the tie. We usually see Nemesis getting a lot more convincing attacks, and it's usually those are the majority of their rounds won are attacks. While their defense is strong, it tends to be that their attacks do a lot of the hard work. And so that's kind of what I want to see from them. I want to see hopefully something different than of what Fierce decided to go with, which was a silos take. And that's kind of what Fierce is setting up for. They're setting up for a green as well as silos. But interestingly, I think we might be seeing a wall charge here from Nemesis, wanting to take this office control, as well as maybe get a wall charge into these sites, whether it be from up top or down low. It looked like it was from down low, but it might be looking to be up top instead. But I guess we'll have to see, since it's not clear where they're putting the charges. But they are aware of where they need to worry about, as they do. There is almost this little cross between these two angles here, and that's something that Nemesis is aware of. But whether Fierce takes advantage of that is the question, because we do see a smoke getting ready to be put out to get rid of those long angles from Nemesis after they take off his control, I assume. And I'm pretty sure the name of the game is just getting this office control, as it is probably one of the central locations of this map. It shuts down the silos, but wow, and open from Fierce, doing so much damage, but it works not in their favor. The dock is still open. Josh doing so much damage, killing two players.
Go in. The molly's too late. Stars goes down too. Just only Marbles and Dia left. Marbles goes down too, and it's just Dia with a KR in office. Oh man. Almost worked out to perfection. So much damage, but just unable to close the door, and it lets Nemesis in. basically for free. Oh man, and they saved the charge too.
Just a gamble that I don't think the rest of Fierce was kind of ready for. If we want to see an open like that, we probably want to be seeing people holding angles from up top on these silos, and not to mention peeking the dock and then having a player just ready to close the door. But we didn't see that. Roadrunner, there we go, finishing off Diagri and not letting him save a gun.
Wow,
And
almost so close, almost so good.
just yeah, a very risky play from the side of Fierce. Doesn't pay off, sadly. Josh was able to take advantage of it perfectly, getting those 2 kills, and I'm sure plenty of damage coming in from his teammates as well. And great way to capitalize off of it too. And yeah, Fierce just couldn't get that thing closed after those 2 picks.
Yeah, really just but good on Nemesis too to realize what was going on, defend the button so they couldn't close the door, and able to capitalize on the mistake, and now attacking what in theory should be a free map if they're able to execute.
Yeah, I think Nemesis, to the advantage of being defense first on a map that you don't really know is because generally if it's a map you're not familiar with, it's going to be generally more defender sided because of that difficulty planning. But now that Nemesis has been able to see this and they kind of know what they might have to deal with, they might have a better chance here. And it's looking like they do want to actually end up pushing that west side of the map, and instead of trying to go for that breezeway, because to be fair, the problem with the breezeway is you could actually just give up the breezeway entirely if you wanted to and still play for the wall bangs, because of how office is set up, because of how club is. There's still plenty of options that you have to just play on the west side of the map purely, and let alone be able to play wall bangs for that barb into the breezeway. So I think this is kind of a deceptively easy map, and that's kind of what we saw from Fierce. We saw Fierce thought they could just kind of go over to Breezeway and take it with ease, but Nemesis fought back, and that's what we're gonna hopefully see from Fierce's side, how they decide to play against this.
Yeah, I think honestly, like I said this earlier, I think having this unique opportunity on a map that I don't know about you, but I've never seen this one before,
Yep.
and it makes it more fun because you're seeing the top level guys who know how to succeed at this game playing on a map that no one's ever seen before, trying out new ideas when the stakes couldn't be higher. And that it's just so much fun. And it looks like
Yeah.
Num are going to go for a split die, trying to get some of these door bangs here through club to reception through that red door. But
Hmm.
not able to do a ton. A little bit of wall bang damage onto the Josh, but nothing substantial. They're going to kick that office door. Farrell does more bangs. Ooh, a huge last shot there from Adaxi. Does a lot of work. Farrell now on low HP, though, gets very aggressive in office as the wall bangs continue to do damage to Nemesis, but the opening pick goes to Nemesis size. Josh able to take down Farrell, but Josh himself on 1 HP. A little bit of auto shotty action. Oh, and they're able to get one, but immediately refragged. Well played from Death. The wall charge comes out. Star's able to take down Roadrunner on the breach, though, as more wall bangs are come out, and Josh is on the bomb. Smith Death able to push in and take down Stars. Adaxi forced to sprint in. He's going to go down. Daya gets one, but it's a 2v1 here with 80% of the bomb done. He's going to try to push in. He's not able to take down Smith. Smith wins that fight, and it's 4-1 for Nemesis on a clean attack.
Close round though. He's the health pools of Smith and Josh down to the almost single digits. Very very interesting push, and like I guess the problem with it too is just Fierce kind of let it happen. We saw that reception kind of go uncontested outside of Dagri's wall bangs, and they did have a barb set up for that push, but they didn't really play well against it, and were able to push out Farrell, who was playing in there alone. And then from there, the round pretty much just collapsed in favor of Nemesis. The wall charge came through, the push from that bottom green door onto the site came through, and it was a perfect pinch, leaving the rest of the players stuck over on the club side. And Nemesis playing it well. This is the Nemesis we kind of expect to see.
Yeah, and so close to on Marble's auto shotty peak. He was able to get one, but he shot one wall bang first before he swung it. I bet if he swings it before he does that wall shot, before the wall bang, everybody was so clumped up there. I think he might have had a big opportunity there. But alas, it is not to be, and now we move to Ancient Titan.
It's always the minor mistakes that can actually end up meaning so much. The thing is, you got to be able to move on from it and just realize, what happens happens. If you don't, the worst thing that can happen right now for Fierce is to get in their own heads after having such a close first game there. They need to keep their composure, especially because they have a long pathway to victory here, considering they have to win 2 best of 3s. But we move over to this dome map, little ancient titan, and once again, the observation is the probably obvious push here, and that's what Nemesis is ready to do. Opening up that obs, it will get you pretty quick access to that castle, and that should do pretty much everything they need for it.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong take, the obs, and especially the one ways being so strong on the base. If you lose obs, you really can't play anywhere, and this castle peak is just so strong again with those one ways. If you're not able to hold obs as a defender, it makes it very difficult to hold the map.
You're not joking. It gives lots of information too.
Yeah, that's the huge part. Just there's so much info. And that's obviously Nem's aware of that, and they're going to send 4 guys, including an auto shotty here, with only Daya and Marbles able to defend it with a Legros and a tub. They're going to nade out both barbed wires. That is huge. A good Molly comes out. It's going to do a ton of damage to Death, but he's able to run through it as the flash is going to hit Marbles. Daya with this tub trying to see what he can do, but Death's really just sending it all by himself, and he's going to get taken down by Stars. Josh able to put down Daya, though, to bring it back to this 4v4. Smith's going to swing here onto Marbles. He's going to win this fight. Adaxi and Stars have rotated into Castle. They're able to get a Molly down, which balances out that flash, but it's too late because they have sight. Farrell able to get a good Molly down onto the bomb to stop that defuse. Mace able to get another pick onto Adaxi, though. Stars are refrag. Smith finishes it off, though. Another one back. And it's just Farrell now in pit trying to make some magic happen, but they know where he is, and it's 70% of the bomb. The auto shotty ringing, and it's the auto shotty that finishes him off. It is a 5-1 half for Nemesis.
Much stronger from the side of Nemesis, and unfortunately weaker from the side of Fierce. These attacks all perfect from Nemesis this time around, being able to take all of them. Fierce taking a very risky play on that factory, and then having to deal with a pretty difficult defender map of that kill house. So it's just been convincing for Nemesis for these maps, and it's been working out for them pretty perfectly. So I don't know if it's what it is, Nemesis waking up, or if Fierce is just kind of fumbling. Or if just a mix of both.
Yeah, regardless, Fierce definitely need to get themselves back together. Whatever's going on, they're gonna have to rally the troops. What they were doing before isn't working now, and they're gonna have to figure out what it is that's working and counteract it, because this game's gonna slip away real fast.
Yep, and with a victory locked in like this, it makes Fierce's chances of getting that $1,300 much slimmer. But we move to a C store, the half swap. Nemesis continuing on with their attacks, and I think we might see a classic old storefront take here. However, Fierce seem to want to be ready for that, and are looking at options of how to maybe open up the storefront and do lots of damage, as there are plenty of long angles to fight with and worry about. As Nemesis has even pointed out, there's this huge long angle from Arcade that can be used to watch entrances, so that's kind of why they choose to instead go with this far right charge, to not have to worry about this long angle in the first place, and really only have to deal with people playing in the fridges, the teller angles, and then possibly Freezer. But what they do want to do here is they do want to take this fast control of Freezer, so that they can get these angles to fight back onto fridges, while be able to have some cover, as well as be able to push this storage side maybe, and just get rid of any of that pressure of anyone flanking. And then from that point, it really just is going to come down to, I guess, flash usage, and really where the defense decides to play. But the open is going to happen here. We'll have to see how much this throws off Nemesis's plan.
Like you said before, it does seem like Nem is at least somewhat ready for it, taking the long way around onto the storefront. But it'll be interesting. Death and Roadrunner playing it very defensive over there, being totally ready for the open, and it does come out, and they are not surprised at all. Mace taking a little bit of pre-firing there, trying to see if he can get anybody fridges, but there's no one to be found. Farrell getting really aggressive on his peak there. As they're looking to maybe close these doors, they're still open. Farrell doing damage. He's actually going to go down. So is Adaxi as the open does not pay off. No damage done anywhere on the attack. The charge is going to come out. Flash is out as they take freezer control with ease, with Adaxi no longer holding it. A nade's going to go back there, getting rid of the bomb and putting Marbles on the 1 HP, who's got the mop. He's going to go down as well. And it's just Stars and Daya now. As Stars goes down, Daya gets one onto Josh, but in a 1v4 situation and half HP, Mace is going to make quick work of it and puts Nemesis to match point.
Near fall this round, pretty much a standard execute from Nemesis onto these storefronts. Just we saw all the flashes roll out, all 5 bodies go through. It's usually what we see when we see a Nemesis storefront take, and they show it no differently. And yeah, the big downfall there was really those opens not paying out for them. That first open happened, Nemesis was able to gather intel of where those peaks were coming from, and so when that close and then reopen happened, not only was Nemesis ready for it, but they knew where these people were peaking and were able to take the fights appropriate. We make our way over to factory. Nemesis on match point. Things could be really bad here for Fierce.
Double sniper for the attack.
Yeah, double sniper. Things are looking rough, and Fierce needs every round from this point on.
And if they are able to do that, we would see an unprecedented, guaranteed 4th game. If you tie the first 2, you play 4 games instead of just 3. It's a very exciting caveat to the rulebook that we have not seen since its addition to the rulebook. So,
oh yeah,
you know, big excite if that happens. But there's a long road ahead of Fierce to make that happen, and they're ready for silos.
Yep, we see a factory here with a generator, a big old generator in the center, which is kind of the mainstay here, as this is covering a lot. Not only can it be able to cover the docks, be able to cover silos, servers, and even the green, but it is really going to be the central point of a lot of angles that Fierce is going to be able to use. So it's going to depend on where this attack comes from and where the rotates come from Fierce, because this generator is very powerful, especially because getting access to the generator is rough as an attacker. There's only 2 places. There's one on this side, which you have to cross a toxic walkway, and then the other side is the one from Dock, which just has so much you have to kind of deal with to get to in the first place, and so many angles that covers this entrance as well. So this should be a good map for defenders, and I think Nemesis kind of knows this, so it looks like they want to go for a straight green here. Oh no, they decide to actually bring a charge here.
Both snipers brought as well. Who knows? Nemesis decided not to draw this time, so they're leaving us all in the dark. Then they're going to nade out this storage green and get the kickoff. Farrell and Adaxi very close. Farrell peeks it. Josh able to get the inside of himself mob shot. Adaxi trying to get out of there. He's able to get a kill onto Mace. Josh not able to pick up the refrag, and he himself on 1 HP. Adaxi saving the round there, keeping them at bay in storage as the charge and push in is in silos. Marbles is going to go down over there. Does a lot of damage under Roadrunner. Stars Daya trying to set up these crosses, but Death able to take down Daya. And it's just Adaxi and Stars now. Adaxi tries to push Josh, but Josh, a beautiful, beautiful shot there. Puts down Adaxi, and it's just Stars holding on to their chances of this game. Playing defensive, the Flasher all over him. Roadrunner's going to push him and take him out, and it's a 7-1 Fierce round.
From a tie to an incredibly convincing victory, Nemesis are on fire now and only need one more win. Well, let alone they need to hit 6 points in this next game to lock it out. And Fierce, they need to win this next one if they want to have a chance.
Yeah, Fierce need to win this last game in order to force a overtime to hopefully pull off the win here. And if they are unable to win it in overtime, that's it. That's the whole shebang. And if they are able to pull it out, then we go to another set in which it's a pure winner take all situation. Nem coming from the winner's bracket and Fierce being in the loser's bracket here in this tournament, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, both teams were honestly looking kind of rough in that first game, but as things kind of started to shape out, we saw Fierce actually be able to take some good attacks on that first game, but then the beast of Nemesis decided to finally wake up. We saw their attacks get a lot smoother, a lot cleaner, and a lot faster, which is what they're strong at, what they're good at. And Fierce have a hard time dealing with it. Not really being able to do much that entire second game. So Fierce needs to kind of take a step back, take a breather, and try to reset, get their minds back where they were earlier, back where they were yesterday. You know, they've fought hard to come out of loser bracket after losing early on, and they need this win. They need this win. Like that Yakuza game was a good game for them. They felt really good coming out of that. They need to keep that momentum from there, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be carrying over so far.
Definitely carried into that first game, but Nem's settling so well. You know, finding their stride, you know, taking advantage of every mistake Fierce makes and really capitalizing on it, not just turning it into, oh, we got a pick or oh, we got the opening pick, but taking the whole round out of those mistakes. And that's, you know, that's the difference between them and a lot of other teams. You know, if that open happens and it's, oh man, we messed up, that's one thing, but you know, they get like if Hadaxi dies on that factory open they had in the one round, you know,
Yeah.
that what most teams would capitalize on the mistake, but Nemesis are able to, you know, throw flashes in there, prevent anyone from closing the button, and able to push in and win the whole round based on that mistake, and that's just why they're such a dominant team here.
Yeah, it's hard to tell whether Fierce is just not confident in playing, I guess, kind of their normal game, or I mean, not necessarily a normal game, but I guess more of a passive game compared to what they tried to do on those defenses, where we saw, yeah, that those that storefront open, we saw the factory open, and both of them went the other way for them, unfortunately. But I mean, sometimes there are some maps where you kind of feel like you have to take a risk, otherwise you kind of know you're going to lose it just because of how strong certain attacks are. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's how they felt. Maybe that's what they thought they needed. But I mean, it just, yeah, sadly those rounds didn't work out, and those were kind of like some of the, I think, the big reasons why they lost that game. Which is that's what's going to happen with those risky plays. Like, so we've seen them paid off a lot of times before, but there are times when they hurt you more than help, and those are those occasions.
Absolutely. And it does look like we're going to go to a short break here. It looks like Fierce may be looking for a sub to try to save their season and keep pushing for this championship. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be right back. welcome back everybody to game number 3 of set number 1 of the Due Process League final. And we have an exciting announcement for y'all. For Fierce, Farrell has been subbed out. They are bringing in Gravy. Billboard, what do you make of that?
This could be. I mean, we'll really see because a lot of people claim Farrell is a defining player for Fierce, and it's no doubt that he is. He does make he has made very important plays for them, but Gravy is also kind of an underrated player for them too. Gravy's been playing for a long time. He's just a very aggressive player too, and kind of given the right support structure around him, he can also do well. So this could be something that they needed, especially if they felt like Farrell just wasn't having a good game. Then I think this sub is appropriate, and it could be the swap they needed, because who knows, maybe there's something happening in comms too, like something going wrong in comms as well, not just on a performance standpoint in terms of kills and deaths. So hopefully Gravy is able to bring some resolution here to Fierce, and Fierce can hopefully have a stronger game as we start to get into this dome. Nemesis starting on their attack yet again, so hope if they're carrying their momentum, Nemesis should be strong, but this is a pretty long ranged attack to deal with. We have a pretty obvious beach here, but this obs is able to give some very clear info onto it. However, there's a red door right there to contest it, and as well as, interestingly, we have power. So we have power in the pit, so if you decide to kind of go for this observation side, you're kind of committing for this power, and then pushing up the base is a little iffy. With this other northern red door, it's really just there. Honestly, the best place would probably be for a Saber to go there, because there are a lot of angles you're going to have to fight against, as well as close in the jungle or even in the water. But it looks like Nemesis wants to go for a full green this time around.
Full eco with a smoke on beach for the kick. No one really there to contest. The closest is Adaxi kind of ratting underneath the bridge and base, and Gravy in a tight corner there with that auto shot. Gravy could be in a huge spot if they opt for the pit direction, but it looks like they want to go base the jungle as Adaxi gets a beautiful opening pick, beautifully rats out Roadrunner. Not able to escape though. Josh putting him down before he's able to get out there. Marbles and Stars now called up to duty. Gonna hold this jungle with these really long angles, especially for a dome standard. They got a Legros and Ingmar gonna hold up against the Black Tar and the Saber of Death. A huge order asset of them. Josh trying to get out of the way of those shots. He does able to do so. Star's a good pick onto Mace there. He's trying to rush in. A smoke comes out. Death's gonna be the one entering with the Saber all the way up to the bomb. Marbles in there with the Legros gonna fight him. The smoke, shots traded, and Death is gonna come out on top. The entry Saber paying off for them. Gravy auto shotting, flanking right now. Smith trying to weed him out. Oh, another beautiful pick for Josh there on the Stars. Very long range kill there. Gravy's forced to rotate back to try to help out Daya on site as he's the only one there. He's gonna be able to push Death on the bomb and able to get him. Trading shots with Josh, but Gravy shows up just in time to take him out, and it's just Smith now in a 2v1. Going back and forth, and Daya is able to take it. What a way to pull it back for Fierce, and it's 1-0.
Fantastic job from Fierce. Adax, honestly, a lot of that came down to Adax's opening play, throwing off Nemesis, getting a really early pick for them. Nemesis trying to kind of get greedy and not using any flashes on the base, and Adaxi punished them for it. Being able to hide within the base and getting a free kill. And even though it was a 1-for-1 trade, I think it slowed them down a lot and forced them to act. And we actually saw like Mace using one of the flashes up in base as well to have to clear a corner just to be sure, and it caused them to kind of have a little bit of panic and want to check things. When the execute came down, tons of flashes rolled through, but and Marbles eating all of them, but those players up top is what kind of did it all. They were getting those picks back, and then things started to subside, and Nemesis started, like, those smokes faded, the flash effects kind of went away, and Nemesis started to play back actually and start getting some kills yet again. but then that final push, Diagri and Gravy working that together perfectly, denying that bomb and being able to finish up the round with a nice little bow on top. Great job from Fierce. Hard round to call there because it was so back and forth, but Nemesis now are probably gonna want to be a little more wary of what they're checking.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely gonna play close, especially with Gravy, who is, I would say, more of a ratty shotgun type player. That's definitely something you're gonna have to be careful of if they're gonna, like, exactly here called out the auto shotty here in Kitchen. Something like that could really punish Nemesis if they're not careful on a map like Tiger Talon.
Yeah, and Nemesis is no stranger to wanting to attack um, the side, even with Pillbox being a problem, because they'll just post death up on that angle and hold it for as long as can be. And that's what looking like they want to do. They want to split this green and the club control, because not only does that lead to a one door to site, but getting up on this club, you're able to see into the pillbox, as well as really just you can deny this other angle from holding the red door. And this push from the reception or like on reception side in the office is really rough, and that's why I guess we see the double barb on that side, making it probably impossible. So it's a good thing Nemesis decides not to go there. But utility stacked on the south side of the map for defense as the charge comes out.
The charge is in club, which is going to be, like you said, only really one barbed wire in their way for this green-red push here. Stars with a beautiful long wall bang he's able to hit here. As the opening trade is out, Gravy gets one under Roadrunner, but Josh the refrag is there. No more members of Fierce here in Pillbox. Adaxi with the auto shot, he trying to kind of sing through the wall here a little bit. Does a little bit of damage, but it gets more done onto him as he tries to retreat through his own barb. Mace able to open up this locker's door. The Molly's going to come out as the flash is countered. Mace somehow not taking damage there. Flash is going to come in. Another Molly comes out, though. Well timed. Going to hold Nemesis back. Josh only with one flash there, but a beautiful wall bang from Death is going to take out the auto shotty and Adaxi. Ooh, Die on a beautiful flank, though, is going to take down Smid as Nemesis push in to get the bomb site. Mace getting maybe over aggressive and goes down. Stars another on to Death. It's 2 for him. And it's just Josh on site in a 3v1. Dia now rotated into Pillbox, maybe going to keep tabs on where Josh is going to try to rotate. But with 50 seconds left on the clock, this is a tall order for him as he rotates back into lockers. Stars and marbles, those wall bangs maybe? Trading through the pillbox, Josh gets one. Maybe on their way back, starting to tickle the bomb a little bit. Stars maybe out of ammo with the LS shots. Josh swings it. Marbles tries to get him in the back, but unable to connect. Josh now down very low HP. Looking for the auto shotty. He finds it. Gonna go in, maybe? Gets on the diffuser 10%. That's 9 seconds left to finish. Josh again letting it sing. 30 on the diffuser. Up to 40 now. He's able to get stars. Marbles only a few seconds left. Only 1 second extra to spare. He's not going to be able to get off, and he's able to handle it. Beautifully played from Marbles there. And it's 2-0 Fierce.
What a close round. Once again, Nemesis just is not ready for some of these angles. Gravy starting the round off great and being able to get all those dinks onto Roadrunner, bringing him down, and doing some damage as well. I believe to Smith, who was with him, but the club take not as easy as Nemesis thought it was going to be, and losing a lot of players on the way in. They did get that site control, but because of the side they pushed, Fierce was in a position where they could play for those wall bangs, and that's what they did. They were in, and also there's a door just facing right where the bomb is facing too. So Fierce had a great place to play from. And we saw Dia with that flank as well too, and then just rotating right back. So great plays from Fierce all around. That's the kind of defenses we've been needing from them. We need this kind of aggression and these not giving too much control to Nemesis, because that's what they do. Nemesis thinks that they might not hold something because it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to, because one flash is going to clear it. And so because of that, Nemesis just decides to try to get greedy with those flashes and hold those flashes until the site push or whatever it be. And which is not a bad idea, but Fierce is taking advantage of that. And that's what we needed from Fierce. And now let's see if they can do it for the third time as we move to a factory with this one's new to me, so quite an interesting generator here that has a backside into a red door. So in a way, it's kind of fully covered unless the attack decides to go commit a charge to push out this generator. Otherwise, it's a lot of free angles onto these silos as well as cover onto these servers, being able to play from this dock as well. So this actually looks like a really good defender map for as there's a lot of angles to work with, and this green being at servers is even a bit even more problematic for the defense. I mean, for the attack, but it's looking like Nemesis want to just kind of barrel through the silos and maybe try to hit this power, which we have an interesting little power spot here, enclosed by what looks to be some servers up on top of the silos, having its own little cover there.
We'll see how it ends up shaking out, as it looks like it's gonna be that generator push. Or is it? It is. The charge is out. A beautiful window smoke there lands in the generator. Is Josh and Rotor able to push in without a flash? Death holding the angle. The molly's going to come down from Dia, but it might be a little too late, as Nemesis is able to really push in here comfortably. Fiercer have to fall off the defense up there. Another molly's going to come out. Some damage done onto marbles there, as the other clack is going to come out into silos. A molly responded. That's all the mollies for the defense, with a minute 30 left on the clock. This is a tall order to defend with what's left. The nade comes out into silos. A flash goes into Gen. They're going to push this Gen hard. 3 flashes come out into Gen, as Dia can't see a thing, and they're going to be able to take him out. Star's able to take down Smith, though, and Adai's able to take down Mace. That's the silos team down. Death goes down on the generator, and it's just Josh and Roadrunner. Roadrunner sending all the way into servers, able to get a pick, but Josh goes down on the Gen, and it's just Roadrunner now in a 3v1. He's able to get a Dax who drops off of the silos. But if Marble is well positioned with this mop, it's going to be tough to get past here. Just one flash on Road. He's able to take Stars on, though. A 1v1 here for the ace for Rotor.
Oh,
the flash
my.
lands beautifully on him. Marbles is forced to run back. He goes for the drop, and he gets it! Roadrunner, the ace, to save the round. Oh, man!
Fierce has got to be kicking themselves. They had such a good cross, but Adaxi decides to jump down and get really aggressive and greedy, and then Roadrunner takes a 1v1 with Stars. Marble's not ready for the angle, and then he held the flash, which was perfectly landed on Marbles, and he was able to run away. Just insane round. I thought that round was over after those first few picks. We saw great defense from Fierce, even though a lot of their players were stacked toward the generator. That Silo's push was shut down perfectly, but Roadrunner able to take all of those fights one at a time with 30 HP even, or being brought down even to 30 HP, and had the perfect 1v1 scenario against that mop. And unfortunately, I don't think those calls came out that there was damage done on him, because maybe we would have seen a pistol come out, or maybe Marbles was still flashed. But wow, just like insane round.
Just Roadrunner putting the team on his back, keeping them in it, as they're going to have to defend for 6 straight now. And that point might be crucial here, getting them a chance to get back onto their quintessential attack.
Yeah, we swap it around to this dome, and it's looking like Fierce might want to consider doing this observation and trying to go for this power instead, as that's kind of generally what we do usually see a charge using this map. Not many teams like to just straight eco this because it is difficult, and I think the power side makes more sense. It's hard to want to push out this green door, though, because of kind of how many angles there are to watch it, whether it be from up top on these different sides. You can play from down low or even close near by, and it's really just a funnel through this green door. But the power of taking this op side comes in this power control, and then really just using the north side as the biggest advantage. Really, it's going to come down to good flashes and good clearing, because a lot of this jungle is pretty kind of close quarters, and especially these the grass here by the bomb can make things kind of disorienting for attackers and really good for defenders if they decide to bring a shotgun or just something that's really good for the close range opportunities there. But Nemesis is looking to hold the base a bit harder than Fierce did, while Fierce decided to hide in there. Actually, that might be what Roadrunner is trying to do, but they're also deciding to use a barbed wire for it as well, to hopefully try to hold off the push for a decent amount of time from the base side. But they decide to kind of forfeit this obs. Oh, actually, no, Death is pushing up for it. Maybe looking to put a late barb down, depending on whether this door gets opened or not.
We'll see where he ends up deciding to play. Drops the barbed wire maybe somewhere. Oh, it is down up there in obs.
Yep, he just
Oh
placed
wow,
it.
I can't even see that on my sat view. But it's gonna be a beach obs split in the end. It's just marbles here on beach as they're gonna push into obs. Death knows better and is immediately gonna fall all the way through pit and out into jungle. Lots of doorbangs come out, do a ton of damage onto Mace there, who was getting a little aggressive trying to put that barbed wire down. But he is eventually able to get it down as the power is not hit by stars despite being right there. Not sure what they're waiting on there. As more door bangs are going to come out, Mace doing a little bit of at least fear mongering through the door. Roadrunner sniffed out by Adaxi. Road not taken out though. Actually does more damage to Adaxi than is done onto him. As two mollies are going to come out into base, trying to let Roadrunner escape as he is able to get to the rock. Josh a shot. Mop rings out, not able to connect onto marbles all the way in base from back of ruins. Another one rings out again, not connecting. And Fierce hold. 50 seconds left on the clock.
There, the round slows down. Fierce having a trouble really getting any footing. They used a lot of the utility. Only one flash left, and that comes out. Flashing it in. Push comes through. Adaxi taking down, having 1 HP, and all the kills rolling out for Nemesis one by one. But Stars able to bring one back for his side in the 1v3 scenario, but does not win it. Nemesis take it 2-2.
Round. Really well played from them.
I mean, yeah, like
just the utility stall. Beautiful.
Death with a really good rotate early on. He knew it wasn't worth to try to hold it out. He was able to make it back, get a mace, being able to place a barb down, and then just being able to stall that time. Like I said, that door is a really hard push from the pit side, and it became quite apparent when the utility was gone. We saw so much utility spent on clearing that observation and pit that they didn't really account for any to be on the site, and because of that, Nemesis are able to capitalize on it.
For sure. I'm surprised not to see a nade there on Fierce to get that barbed wire that, I mean, was almost undoubtedly going to be in the door there. But never brought the nade, and the barb stayed the whole round, and they were never able to push through it.
And yeah, I don't know. I mean, although to be fair, both teams did win that on defense, so it's lining up correctly so far. Fierce was looking stronger on their defenses, and while Nemesis was kind of starting to fall apart, but they did win the same defense that the other team had won, so it makes sense. As we move over to a kill house, things are gonna be a bit different. Nemesis choosing to interestingly go for a double barb onto this lockers. They probably know that the club push is happening, and that's looking like what Nemesis or Fierce wants to do. But instead, maybe they want to just go for the green and use this door charge on the door itself, which could be really good. Depends if Fierce decide how they want to maybe push out the office or not, because the kind of thing that won Fierce this round when they were on the defense was playing the heavy wall bangs and the or just being able to basically have the presence from kitchen as the bomb is facing them. You can be able to play this, and you might even get a shallow angle from the pillbox, but really the big thing is having that kitchen control.
For sure, and it looked like originally that Nem might be looking at really just kind of hard holding office and pillbox based on the drawings, but we do see two members of Nem up in that club area, Death and Josh, on the mop here. A very aggressive decision from him, trying to see maybe get an early pick there out reception. If that's the decision they make to go reception, Josh might be able to reap some big dividends. Roadrunner also in a rat spot in the office, trying to get maybe a little tub kill before getting found out in there. That could be huge, as well as the wall bangs just go to town for Nem there, but nothing really connecting, not a lot of damage. The mop shot's going to ring out. A little bit of damage done through the walls on both sides. Nothing too substantial. Marble's at about 60% HP. Josh, a little damage done as well, as the Molly's going to come out. The nade also comes out, gets the barbed wire out of there. Josh rotates back onto the bar. Death's kind of ratting underneath these sandbags. The push is going to come out. One deep flash, another right in front of Josh's face. The shot rings out, does not connect. Mace on the rotate. Death gets one, Death gets two. Death finally taken down. Josh, another shot, able to connect this time onto a Daxi. Mace two, another, and Roadrunner finally shows up on the flank. Oh man, 2 for Death, 2 for Mace. Well played from Nemesis.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's going to happen when you don't check your corners. Death opening that round perfectly. We saw the 5-man stack coming toward the pillbox because they decided to go for that door charge play, but now the door charge is in the hands of the defenders. So curious to see if they do create anything out of it. But that was the problem. And the problem with that take is, yeah, just you're kind of spending a lot of utility all just to get all the way to that spot to use that door charge. So, and once again, that's all depending on you getting through all of that, having to get through club, and they couldn't even get that. Josh was being able to play that far back angle on the bar, and then Death playing close, which they weren't ready for. No one checked him, and he was able to push through without any pressure at all. That deep flash really only working to do something against Josh, and that was about it.
Yeah, the defenders do end up looting both the clacker and the charge there.
Yeah,
as you alluded to earlier. So that is a huge benefit for them.
Yeah, we saw that clack ringing out a lot from Smith to deny that office side red door, in which it didn't end up coming through. But yeah, now they have the second piece of the puzzle. They got that door charge. Whether or not they're going to use it and whether or not how they're going to use it is the question. But I'm curious, especially on this factory. This factory, there's not really a lot to do, other than maybe I guess you could just put it on the green door and try to kill someone that way. But otherwise, we might probably not even see it come out, sadly. There's nothing really too exciting of places to put it, unless you just wanted to maybe put it on a red door. But
maybe the storage silo door. That's literally the only door anywhere. So
yeah, that too. But either way, Fierce is ready for a green take. It's looking like they have to do it anyway, because that is both their clackers gone. So it means they're going to be forced to coming through this green, and it's not a pretty one. There's a lot of angles to worry about, and Nemesis is fully aware of that. You can be able to play from deep in storage, up top on the stairwell, and then on this generator, or on the other side, you have the generator. You have all the way back at the dock. You have these silo crosses. It's just not good. Not a good time to getting out of there. Oh, and yeah, Roadrunner's doing it. He's putting a charge on the green door and has the clack ready. So maybe an early pick, we'll see. And had Josh and Death stacking the snipers on the storage side. So let's see how this rolls for Fierce.
It's going to be a tough trek no matter what they decide to do. As a little bit of shooting out the windows up in that top server. Trying to see if maybe they can make a little magic happen. The flash comes out as they're going to try to get the kick, but a Roadrunner with the charge does take down a Daxi. A nice opening pick there, solely based on lost utility. Tons of molly's going to come out here for Nem. Oh, a beautiful window nade is going to take down Josh and do a ton of damage. Just kidding. That damage is done onto Gravy from the door charge. Death is fine. Flashes are going to come out now, and they're going to try to push all the way into storage. Death alone in storage, and he's going to go down to marbles. And all of a sudden, Fierce have life as they're looking to push up into silos, where all that's up there is Roadrunner. Stars on the backside now. Marbles has reclaimed the Saber for his own team, and is looking to really do some work with that. As Dia looking to be the first one up here into silos. A smoke is going to come out. The crosses are going to sing. Damage comes out. Marbles trying to do something with that Saber, but not able to kill Mace as the push comes here onto Roadrunner. Dia finally shows up and then does finally take him down there. and the power is out. This is huge. What a turn of events here for Fierce.
Yeah, a great turnaround in a round that looked to be lost for them, getting a great uh opening frag onto Josh. Another smoke comes out. The round dwindles down though, as it's not over yet. Mace still has time.
It goes down.
24 seconds. Chip damage getting done to the attack. And the fuse is going out, and yeah, Mace not able to do anything about it. Stuck on the generator side, and that's a round for Fierce, bringing it up to a tie game.
3-3. That window nade really making all the difference, taking down Josh, forcing Death to fall back, and with
Yeah,
Mason Smith not close enough onto the server to make the difference.
I'm surprised we didn't see a harder rotate after Josh dies there, because yeah, I expecting Death to try to hold that alone is I don't know exactly what was going through Nemesis's mind there. But and not only that, but yeah, they were able to get that saber back and onto the side of the attackers, just putting them in a really bad spot. So it went from being a round that was most definitely lost to like pretty much 180ing. So great job from Fierce to be able to do something like that. You rarely see a turnaround like that.
Yeah, really fantastic job from them, especially with their HP pools being so low, doing a really nice job of balancing it out and keeping those with the HP in the front so that they could still keep their numbers up and keep their guns up. And now Fierce on the attack on a C-store with this drop on Just Dream.
And this C store is a pretty hard one for defenders. There's not a whole lot you can really do to prevent getting flashed, so it's going to be about trying to play aggressive if possible. Maybe holding this teller and just using, honestly, probably just trying to use like some of your worst utility or shotguns here, because of this free storefront, it's pretty easy to take arcade really quickly, and honestly pretty easy to take freezer. Only thing you kind of have to worry about are these there's an interesting little cross angle you can kind of have here on the teller push. That could be a problem, but it's, you know, it's relatively easy to shut down by pushing out the fridges. It's really just going to need to, Fierce need to have like a very concise push here of pinching out everything and clearing everything, because everything is so flashable, um, as C-stores generally are. And I wouldn't be surprised when we see maps like these that are just really hard to defend. Nemesis does like to kind of just stack shotguns and play super aggressive just to kind of throw things off. But utility is really stacked toward this bathroom, as it makes the most sense. It's kind of, it is technically the only door to sight if you want to just kind of go right that way. But they still got plenty of work to go through before they can get right there on Fierce's side. And yeah, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing we're seeing a auto on Josh, and then we're seeing two tubs, as well as an Ingmar for some wall bangs, and a Gruber on Smith. Shots ringing out here, trying to break a lot of the storefront, getting open the freezer, and
Just
Fierce
play
is
this.
just waiting.
Yeah, definitely going for the slow play here. Still 4 barbs brought on the defense. Definitely commitment. Some pre-fires going down on that bathroom angle. It's an arcade storm. Death flashed. Die's able to take him out with ease. Josh getting wall banged as well. Definitely in a tough spot. Trying to rotate out, and he is able to rotate through his own barb. He's going to swing as the nade comes out, but he's going to get put down without doing too much damage. And there's only 3 left for Nem now. Oh, Smith taken down on a beautiful, beautiful door bang there from Diagri. And it's just Mason Road with the Gruber and the tub. Road's gonna swing it with the tub, and Adaxi kills himself with a door charge on the bathroom. And all of a sudden, it's a 2v1 for Mace, who's just running. He's able to take down Gravy, and it's a 1v1 Mace versus Diagri. Oh man, what a turn of events, and it's all for Nem now. Dia does have the bomb site though, but the bomb is facing the wrong way. Very difficult to defuse here. 25, 30% done as Dia knows where Mace is. Mace has picked up the auto shot. He tries to let it sing, but Dia's right there to put it down. Stops the miracle just short, and it's 4-3 for Fierce.
Yeah, that one was close. Mace able to just barrel through all of Fierce and bringing it back to that 1v1, but unfortunately along the way lost a lot of his health, so it came down to really just who saw who first and who got the shots off first, because both of them were pretty low. Diagre very low on health too, down to the 62 mark, but unfortunately Mace pre-fired the wrong spot and Diagre was able to take the follow-up shots. Great round.
Yeah, really good stuff. Interesting decision from Fierce to use that door charge all the way up in the bathroom door, especially given how many kills they'd already secured. Surprised to not see the mid round opt out of that plan to just either shotgun it or kick it, because at that point I don't know if you need the charge anymore with only 2 members up.
Yeah, it was a bit weird to commit to that. I mean, they did get the round though in the end, so I mean, I guess that's all that matters. But it just means, yeah, one less charge that they might have had to use for a map like this. But we go to this pure sphere. It's a nice dome, and once again, this is kind of a story of which red do you want to pick, because both these reds kind of have their own story of what you can do. This top red one, it gets you quicker to sight, sure, but you have a lot of angles to worry about, so you're gonna have to take a lot of fights, and also honestly depend on taking green too, because that you can watch from the observation as well onto that red, which makes that red very difficult. So that's why Fierce is opting to go for the pit side take. Not only is it safer, but it secures you power, and the only real problem then comes down to is with this side, you kind of end up coming also to a funnel in terms of, if you're not able to take obs, then you just funnel out this side. So it's basically two different funnels you're deciding to choose from, but a lot of it is going to depend on how this obs control is taken care of, or if, you know, Nemesis decides to even play in it in general, which they're doing, which is smart because of how much info it gives you. This thing can see all everything on site, and pretty much almost anything in jungle as well. So I expect to see a split here from Fierce, splitting the green to some extent to get that control, because they're going to need it.
Absolutely, the split is going to be crucial to taking a map as big as this one. Just a reminder for everybody that Nemesis do only need 6 rounds to secure the set here, because they won the middle one with the tie in the one before. They only need 6 rounds, so even if it's a tie here, this will still be Nemesis's championship to win. As Gravy moves up to this castle door, the rest of the attackers, Stars, Dia, and Marble, is going to be here in this pit clack as Adaxi and Gravy here in castle. No defenders in either of these initial breach rooms for the defense at all. Josh, the closest into castle, looks like he might get a molly down through this one way. You know, trying to play these observation walls as best he can as the flashes are going to come out. Dia going to push in. Josh able to stagger the attack with that molly, though. Keep Adaxi and Gravy out, but the power goes out. That's going to hurt Josh in observation, as he's not able to see anymore. And he's going to have to fall back off of both of those barbs, the aggressive one in castle and the one deeper in obs, and hold that longer angle with Roadrunner. The flash is going to come into obs as Dax is able to slide in without too much damage, but the flashes aren't going to do enough, and he's going to go down. Josh able to peek it as well as Gravy's in that barb. The molly's out. Gravy's trapped in this corner here. Josh going for another peek as Gravy knows where he is. They're going to trade shots. Both still up, but Josh having to fall out. Gravy not able to secure the pick, and now on 1 HP from the crossfire set up by Death. Mace going to pre-fire into there very aggressively. Dia, Marbles, and Stars have pushed their way up to the stairs up in pit, as Stars might go for a full rotate here to try to support Gravy and set up these crosses. Death is going to go down up on these high ruins to Marbles, but Marbles taken down by Mace with that KR. That's the Saber down. That is a huge pick for Nemesis there. Gravy also being taken down by Josh, maybe peeking through the obs a little bit there, maybe clipping through. Your hitbox can clip through the wall there. Stars getting a flash down into obs, trying to swing Josh if he can. Shots coming out everywhere. Stars able to get one onto Smith. Dia pushing up, takes Josh down. But he's going to go down. It's a 1v1 now. Stars and Mace. He has to push. He's not able to get there in time, but the eco play is on, and Mace is able to win it. 2 from Mace, 2 from Roadrunner, and Nemesis are 2 rounds away from winning the championship. Really just a strong round overall there from Nem, being able to hold on, play as long as they can, really playing it slow, keeping that utility usage from Fierce to not be where they need it to be.
Yeah, we
And
just
eventually, yeah, go ahead.
see these constant back and forths here. We see some convincing rounds, we see some not so convincing ones, and that one was down to the wire yet again. And it did come down to 1v1, but unfortunately, time was not on the side of Fierce. That take, while they were able to get pit control so quickly, there wasn't really much to it. Even with that power, they ended up running into, like I said, the problem of those funnel positions, and it led them to be in a really tough spot. But we move to a kill house, and it's yet another breezeway where we split the map in half. So we have a red door on each side. We have red door toward the backstage of courtyard, and one on the brick house. And as it can be assumed, brick house is the one that they want to push. But interestingly enough, you cannot wallbang this. So because it is a brick house, these are brick walls, meaning no wall bangs, as the wooden walls are the ones that you want for all the wall banging needs, but that can't happen. So this push is gonna mainly come from this chokehold of this door. So they need to set, or Nemesis needs to set up for it, and they've got a barb ready for it, and looking to even put a barb on the bomb, probably so they could set up to play in the kitchen if they need to wallbang onto this bomb. And the only real place a person can long arm is like around in this area, which is also wallbangable. And knowing Nemesis, they're a team that does wallbangs very consistently. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. But I do question if they decide to put anyone over on the club side to just get this extra pressure across the breezeway. And I guess that answers my question. No, they do not. They want to stack their entire team, bringing both snipers, probably looking to get aggressive here onto this breezeway and looking to get an opening pick.
That's a super aggressive play there from them. If they're able to execute here and get these opening sniper picks, it could make all the difference. As Fierce are out of the truck, Adaxi Stars, Gravy Dia, and Marbles look like they're unsure of where they want to go. They do know that they have both snipers. Oh my god, Josh, with this long angle all the way here, is able to hit a body shot onto Dia. That's a massive, massive angle there. And he's able to do some work there. Adaxi able to avoid the clack of Smith to a certain extent. Takes about 68 damage there. Keeping himself at a fighting HP as they're able to push this brick house. The door bangs, not wall bangs, as Billboard said, you cannot wall bang here, but the door bangs here are coming out. Roadrunner trying to see if he can get some leg roast damage. But again, only one door between them and Sight. Marble's opening up a deep molly there. Still one more molly for the defense, and it's on Mace. Gravy kind of chilling on the backside here over in Courtyard. Not sure what he's up to. With two flashes, lots of utility over there. Oh, Death holding that flank beautifully, able to get the kill onto Dia, trying to rotate out. The nade not able to do a ton of damage like they want. Smith's going to go down. The mop does not connect. Josh goes down as well, and sight control is taken there. Gravy's trying to push in. Death able to take him out, though. Adaxi has been body shot mopped, so he's not on a ton of HP either. Wallbangs are a big concern for him. More wallbangs coming out from Roadrunner, trying to prevent this defuse, and it is working. Death takes Marbles down on the defuse, and it's a 2v3 here. Oh, Death, another one. Looking through those doors. Roadrunner finishes it off. And a 4K for Death makes it 5-4. Nem only one game away from the championship here. And Roadrunner taking out his whole team with a beautiful Molotov. Gotta pad the stats. If you can't kill the enemy, you might as well kill your team.
Even though Nemesis was so cramped there in that side of the map, that half where the bomb was only at, it still worked out perfectly for them. Those flashes did come through and the push tried to happen, but the barbs were set up so perfectly. We saw them them use the nade on, or Fierce used the nade on the barb that came out of brick house rather than the one on bomb. And so that became a whole different problem, because not only that barb and bomb prevents you from pushing into kitchen, but it is there to help try to prevent the defuse as well. And because of those double snipers, Death and Josh were able to hold down the breezeway the entire time. So even if Fierce decided to try to push through that breezeway at the same time as that brick house, which they did end up deciding to stack toward that brick house pretty much entirely, it wouldn't have worked out. And I think that was really the only chance Fierce had, is if they decided to try to pressure that brick house more and actually get their flashes in that way. But unfortunately, we didn't see it. They got scared off after Diagri took that mop shot on that cross because of the smoke not coming out earlier, or like not coming out in time, and yeah, things went south from there.
Yeah, just too much utility and economy to make up there, I think, for Fierce. Down the snipers, only one nade, just not enough to be able to make up a map that's built like that. And now, Nem attacking a C store for the championship, for their claim of $1,300. A huge, a tall order here to ask Fierce to hold on for all three defenses.
Yeah, they've got to come out with something strong here on the end of Fierce, and it's not looking good, especially with a map like this. Um, the attack is looking to win a C store of this kind. It's not Nemesis's favorite types of C store, which of course is the wall charge into Storefront, but they're interestingly thinking about a wall charge into the teller, which could throw off Fierce entirely. Really, all that needs to happen is, they need to if they get control of this arcade and start to push toward this storage, as well as get control of this freezer and hold down this entire lane. This wall charge kind of happens perfectly, and then the bathroom is stuck to a two-man pinch, or a two-side pinch, with the office being held down, so this rotate won't even matter. And the push comes out, and it's fast. Nemesis making their way through.
They're already in, but Gravy able to get the opening pick onto Roadrunner through the door. Fantastic from him. Maybe keeping their chances in. Josh goes for that same wallbang that took him out, trying to see if he can get anybody up on that table. Adaxi being very, very patient with that tub in there, right by the power, may be able to take down Josh, and he is able to do it with that tub, and he's going to go on a rampage through Freezer. He's able to get death too before Mace finally puts him down. Smith uses the wall charge, but it's just Smith and Mace now, trying to pull it off on a two-man wrecking crew here. They do have a nade and two flashes, so it is not totally over on this 4v2. Star's going to push with the tub, but he's going to get down. Not able to do a ton of damage onto Smith either. Another Molly's going to come into the bathroom, as there's no members of Fierce in between them and the bathroom now. Gravy going to go on this knack flank. He's going to do a little bit of damage onto Mace there. Mace is going to peek him going back. More damage, but none onto Gravy, as he's able to snag an AP off of Roadrunner's body now. As Smith's going to push into sight. The nade goes off. Nobody up in there. Marble's trying to see what he can do, but that barbed wire in storage is going to end up hurting them more than it helps. Mace with a tub able to get one. Marble's the auto shot. He goes down to Mace as well, and Smith takes down Dia, and that's it. The whole match is over. Congratulations, Nemesis are your Season 3 Due Process League champions.
Wow, what a way to end it too. Fierce have to be beating themselves. It was such a good scenario. Unfortunately, that wall charge, there was a prop or something in the way, so they couldn't actually enter through. So Mace and Smith were a little puzzled at what to do. But then we see Fierce just peeking over, and we saw Gravy's trying to do some damage from down an arcade. But then at the opposite end, Diagri wasn't peeking at all. He was just holding down the office when he could have had a perfect flank. And just the communication probably wasn't there of where these players were. Such a frustrating way to lose from Fierce after such a hard fought season, a hard fought playoffs for them to make it all the way back. But unfortunately, Nemesis still shows how dominant they are, and they take the first place this season. $1,300 awarded to those players, but don't count out everyone else. That still, all the top four are going to be receiving prizes. Second place, Fierce getting 700. Third, as Yakuza, they should be getting around 300, I believe, and then the fourth place to Rise. So
yeah,
wow,
a fantastic season in the books. Really just great show from Nemesis, dominating pole to post, if you will, or I think that's how that horse-based phrase goes. Really just showing we'll go cover to cover. Not really, only dropping a few rounds, never losing a game, only tying 2 or 3, I think, all season. Really, just a beautiful showing from them. We're gonna try to get an interview going if we can. We'll see if we're able to do that. But while we're waiting for that, again, just so much congratulations to Nemesis. As what else can you say? That they dominated. There's a reason they were the favorite coming in,
Yep.
and they showed it over the whole season. Everybody got their chance, and nobody really got all that close.
Yeah, I mean, Fierce, the closest one there. They had quite a journey in these playoffs. Uh, you know, taking losing after their first victory, which was something that people were surprised by too. That a lot of people didn't think they would fare so well against Rise, but they were able to pull it through, and then being able to win it again, against Yakuza yesterday. So Fierce were on, or they had a trail of fire behind them, but unfortunately weren't able to keep it going. And yeah, Nemesis just keeps to prove their domination and shows why they deserve it, why they deserve to be at number one.
Absolutely, and it looks like we are going to get this interview. The one we've all been hoping for. Smith himself has joined us in the
Well,
booth.
oh,
Welcome, Smith. Congratulations.
thank you.
Just kind of take us back through that, through those kind of dying moments. That last round on that C store, that was a kind of a roller coaster. It looked like they might have you guys, and then out of nowhere, you guys are able to pull it back. Take us through that round.
I mean, we knew we played them on that map before, so we knew how they were gonna play it, and it was actually kind of a cluster because the wall charge went on the wrong wall. It like clipped into the wrong wall, and then we couldn't get through it. But at the end, it was just kind of like Mace and I were like, "All right, I'm going this way, you're going that way. Let's see what we can do." So yeah, I mean, for us and our team, I mean, we really haven't practiced much at all over the last like 3 weeks, so it was good to come out with a win.
Yeah, and I think that everyone would agree that that kind of showed early in that first game. You guys definitely looked like you were still kind of getting your footing, but once you got it, it was a more impressive performance, the one we're kind of used to seeing from you guys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, first game for us has always been a tough one. I mean, if you look at any of the previous matches, it's always been tough for us on first games. But yeah, I mean, Roadrunner getting an ace that one factory round was huge, and it was just good. Vibes were up.
Yeah, were there any maps that since you guys have said you haven't really been practicing a whole ton, were there any maps that kind of threw you off that you didn't see yet, like that were added in the new pool? I know for sure some of those breezeway ones were definitely a doozy. Anything that kind of stuck out to you guys?
Every single factory map. I think we played one factory map that we'd played them on in the past. Every factory, like the 3-story container ones, we'd never played it. I mean, pretty much every single factory we never played. Same with the breezeways, which, I mean, in my opinion, those breezeway maps are terrible.
Yeah,
for competitive wise, it's one way in, and they're just not fun. But yeah, every factory map was new. I mean, every C store is roughly the same. Doesn't matter how they pie it off or how they put the rooms. It's the same no matter what. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, I think congratulations are in order. Two-time champs.
Enjoy your
really-
$1,300.
Absolutely.
thanks for the Disney World with it. I gotta give a shout out to my boy Omerta. The man got married yesterday. Finally got it in. My man's is now a
Wow.
man. He Carter yesterday was his birthday, so just capping off a good weekend with this.
Nice little birthday present. Perfect.
Absolutely. Congratulations to everybody. Go ahead and celebrate with your team.
All right, thanks.
And also in the call, we do have Marbles, the Fierce captain. If you'd like to give us a shake. Marbles, kind of take us through that match. What were you guys seeing there, and what ended up ultimately leading to you coming close, but just not quite being able to finish it off, if you will.
It was really that factory round, like Smith was talking about, where Road Ace. We had told to play back and play together, but then we basically all took ones, and that's a cardinal sin, of course. I think game one should have been ours. Threw a bunch of attack rounds on that side, but played our defense really low. I think our defense was really solid the entire series. Attack definitely. Nemesis had our had our number on that. Um, but I think it was a great game. I I know we Nemesis is honestly the best team, right? They like to talk about how they don't play, but I mean, if you've been looking through the DPL server, Josh is playing 10 mans every night. He's probably the best player in the game right now. I think the players that do play a lot, they're very strong, and even the players that don't play a lot, they're also able to back their team up, which we could see from that match clearly.
Yeah, for sure. I think the whole league has a lot of respect for the Nem guys, and they're able to execute at a high level no matter what the day is. Were you kind of surprised to see that especially in like the first match in the first half of the game, really the whole game, defense was kind of winning the day, which isn't usually super common, especially with Nemesis involved.
I mean, I think Nemesis, us and Nemesis, we have strong defenses, but Nemesis can do attack. I think with the new flashes, their attacking side has been a little bit affected, as everyone else is, because of the change due to props and stuff and how they block. But I think that we definitely should have been able to win out more of those attack rounds, for sure. But I do think that they, like I said, they played very well against us, and it was a great game overall.
I guess the thing to look at here too is, I mean, don't be too down on yourselves. So you guys played a great game, and you still, I mean, you could still coming away with $700. So I guess my question is to you: what are you guys looking for when we come to next season? How are you looking to prepare for that? And hopefully you guys can try to be the #1 team then.
I'd like to say that I'm very excited for next season. I mean, this league's given me a lot, like just overall. I played with a bunch of different people. I've learned a lot, just like how to be like a leader almost, and like how to be like an IGL. And I think that DPL is a great league that is very, I mean, the community can be, interesting at times as well. I think all of you know, but we really do have some great games that go off against these teams. Even the bottom teams this season played really well towards the end, as we could see from Rats, LCG. LCG was the first team to take Nemesis to far. I think everyone is improving at a rapid rate, and we're just all gonna get better as this next season goes on. And I'm excited to see how rosters shape up.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again, Marbles, for your time. Congrats again on getting second place in the league. Really nice job in the tournament, especially. I think we all all are impressed with how well you guys ended up performing.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't expected to go this far. I mean, I think everyone had us, one of the first teams out, but I think that we proved that we could take it to teams like Yakuza and Rise, and show that we could be a team that could stand on the same stage as Nemesis, even though we did end up losing.
For sure. Really, really a nice showing. Thanks again, Marbles, for your time. And moving forward, everybody, I think thanks again for showing up, for watching the Due Process League Season 3 Championship. Again, Nemesis winning in 3 games, 6-6, 7-1, 7-4. A really strong showing from them. But Billboard, is it over? Is there no more Due Process for a long time?
Well, I hope not.
Luckily, there isn't.
Yeah.
There isn't. There's more.
Of course there is. We still got playoffs, Rivals playoffs. We got one playoffs taken care of. We got another playoffs to go.
So our lower league. Yeah, go ahead. You go. All you.
I was gonna say, yeah. So lower league rivals. So the teams that have been not performing so well in DPL at the bottom are gonna have to fight for their spot to stay, as the top rivals teams are going to be competing to see who really is the best down there, and then they're going to be able to play against the teams from the DPL to compete for spots in next season.
Yep. And starting off on the 3rd, July 3rd, this Saturday, will be the start of that process. It will start off with the top 6 rivals teams going head-to-head, trying to compete for one of those top 3 spots to get their chance at a DPL team. That'll be Oh, I have as far as the DPL is concerned, that will be Rats. I don't know what the formerly Gaggle of Idiots is going by these days. Um, but them and LCG will have to defend themselves against the combination of Project Neo, Frisky Fraggers, Pogfish, the Gnome Dome Defenders, the Fridge Knights, and Genesis. Those 6 teams are all going to be competing for their shot at DPL. And you might know better than me, Billboard. What are you seeing down there? What are the teams to look for in the in that rivals?
You know, a little bit of bias here, but you know, I'm saying Neo's gonna come out, I think, looking real good. And honestly, looking at other people in rivals, I think a lot of these rivals teams have a really good chance of stealing some DPL spots. So the DPL teams better be ready because we're coming. We're coming.
Absolutely, it's going to be a fantastic long tournament. These games are going to occur on. They'll start the 3rd, and they will take 3 full weekends. We're going to take off for the 4th, as it is American National Independence Day, if you will. But then they will continue on the 10th and the 11th, and then again the weekend after that on the 17th and the 18th. So we hope to see you all there for those big bottom of the league relegation games, and hope some teams take their spots and hold on to their spots. It'll be a great time.
Indeed.
As for this championship game, I have been Reviv.
And I've been Billboard.
Congrats again to Nemesis. We hope to see you guys real soon.